and then doing a black circle through the sternum. Right, so you see these kinds of things. But the goal right now is simply just to close the distance. And in case you've never wrestled before, right, as you're taking this step, you're taking a lunge step forward, and your knee, you're changing levels, and your knee is going down to the floor here. Knee is going down to the floor, and generally you'll pulse an angle off. But the goal right now is to climb up the body. You close the distance. And like we talked about, a nice way to set it up is if he's matching my level change. 1. We're going to go down, up. So now he thinks we're going to go down and up again. When I go down and he goes up, this is the level change that we need. Generally speaking, when you see it MMA, I just won't take a drop set with the knee that much. The reason being, for wrestling, you need to match the head, so we're very, very low. We're really, really low. From this position, I can't just go straight. So I have to get even lower, which means I have to bring my knee to the floor here. Okay? But if we're already sort of upright, you don't have to take a drop set. So even in this position, right, if we're matching here, if we're trying to grapple here, etc., I can change levels here, and come the leg and climb up the body. Right? All you have to do is beat that head.
Go to supervisions, spin back.
So if we're matching our head like here, I change levels, you match me. Change levels again, go here, and his head goes up, and this is a good opportunity for me to shoot. I want to make sure my head's to the outside, so I can climb up the body. Okay, so you close the distance in a successful way without risking your neck, essentially. That's what I'm going to do with single leg. I was doing a double leg to close the distance. Now we're talking about a single leg to close the distance. But it's very important, high crotch versus single leg, the distinguishing factor here. Right? It's used interchangeably. And I think the terminology, when you kind of define it, it gives a little bit more clarity. Single leg versus double leg. Double leg, you go for 2 legs, single leg, you go for 1. Okay? It kind of sounds very simple, but it's all about the head position. If I shoot in this position on one leg with my head to the outside of the body, that's called a high ceiling wrestling. Okay? Same thing, if I, single leg, grab this leg with my head not to the outside, but the head to the inside, this is considered a single leg wrestling. So high C versus single leg. Generally speaking, the high C is a little bit more risk because you have exposure to the neck. Okay? Because I'm putting my head into this pocket here. Okay? For me personally, I used to, in my wrestling days, used to shoot a high C to that leg and a single leg to that leg. The reason being, if I have inside control, if I think this high C where I'm just trying to go in this direction, right? Now I can immediately go into that single. I can change over and shoot in my single leg here, okay? Notice from here, if I circle, I'm using here, the position of my head, okay? So this is considered a single leg with good head position. Now from here, there is no risk of a guillotine choke, right? Can he grab the wrist of the throat with your American raw? Yes, you can. I'm not a big fan, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at closing the distance using that single leg. Now the high C, a single leg. To do with the high C2 is very similar to the double, but ain't on that. Alright, so we're going to close the distance here, and we're going to reach out, and then put our hands on our opponent, right by the inside control, we're going to go to the tricep, and we're going to pull this leg forward, and now there's that leg here. Okay, we're going to change levels, we're going to shoot it on this leg here, take, collect that leg, but he's immediately going to try to go defend. I'm going to climb up the body for a underhook. Okay? Usually from here, he's going to try to create a tight wizard. Now we're sort of in this underhook wrestling position. We go for a low underhook, and we're going to immediately go attack our inside leg position, which we're going to cover later. Okay? Similarly, if he's leading with that leg, we use that same concept that we did a little bit earlier. Maybe he sort of makes a mistake and then tries to post that lead arm, and I can swipe this arm down, shoot it on this leg, and now it can climb up around his waist here. Okay? So that's another option. You can also use sort of a sweep single motion, climbing up the body, and now that I control the hips, get behind, close the distance. Right? Changing levels here, changing levels, looking for that shot. Okay? Usually, I pause, get back, There you go. And face me. Good double on the chair. And shit. Right? Similar to the double leg takedown, you're changing levels, closing the distance, further down the lower position, and you almost always have to watch out for that guillotine choke. This is a great way to close the distance if you already know how to wrestle. Maybe you wrestled in high school, maybe you wrestled in college. Maybe you're a blue belt that trains at a jiu-jitsu school and then instructed